Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. So, I haven't been here in a little bit. It's been a minute. So here I am. I'm going to do some readings for everyone. So, I want to start while I wait for people to come into the chat room. I thought, well, let's pull some What's the Tea cards. I got this little deck off of the TikTok shop, and really crazy because I pulled a card out for myself. And it was girl fighting. And boy, I got into a big fight with my sister. So there's something to it. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing really well. You're feeling good. Um, so yeah, so while we wait for everybody to come in, and I'm happy to pull cards. I've got all my tarot decks out. Yeah, we'll read for each other, huh? Maybe somebody will read for me. All right, let's see what's going on for all of us while we wait for everybody to pop in. So I'm going to start with my Aries, and we'll go run around the Zodiac and, yeah, real quickly kind of find out what's the tea on whoever it is that we are thinking about or whatever situation comes up. And we'll just check it out. All right, let's see what the tea is for all of my Aries. Grateful, thankful for the messages always. All right, let's give it another shuffle. Let's see what's going on. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I was in ceremony this weekend, and that was pretty good. I was also told in ceremony that I should share a little bit of, what we do in there. So when the time feels right, I will do that. All right, Judy's in Aries, so let's see what's coming up. What's the tea? What's the tea for my Aries? Grateful, thankful for the messages. All right, so we've got cock blocking. So I feel as if they're trying to stop somebody, who's trying to push onto you. And that could be in any number of ways, So it could be, what I'm feeling is just like when it says cock blocking, it's almost as if, maybe somebody's trying to push a little hard to get you to do something that you don't really want to do. So I feel like, for you Aries, don't let anybody push you around this week, all right? And if somebody does, feel free to block them. All right, so that's what I've got for my Aries. Kind of a funny little message. But let's see what's going on for my Taurus. And like I said, people are starting to come into the chat. We've got a few people popping in. I'm happy to read for all of you guys. So throw your questions into the chat, and I'll be happy to stop and pull a card for you guys. All right, let's see what's going on for my Taurus. What's the tea with the person or whatever it is that they are thinking about? It's a fun little deck. Not my typical way to read. Uh-oh, we got the girl fight. Now, I had this card come out, and it says, arguments, physical fight, at war, competing. Listen, I know this one. I was really surprised because I couldn't understand, who would I be fighting with? But for me, it ended up being my sister, So, Taurus, just be aware, that there could be some discrepancies between you and someone else that you are involved with, So, be prepared because it happened to me. All right, let's see what's going on for my Gemini. Gemini, this one came out. Bad habits, drugs, addictions, and toxicity. All right, my gems. Listen, if we are doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing, look, I got this wild hair over here. If we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing, then quite possibly we need to start looking at breaking some bad habits that we've got going on. For me, I've always found that if I make a decision and start on a Monday, somehow I'm more successful in trying to run with it. So pick a day and say, today, moving forward, I'm not going to drink anymore. Or today, I'm not going to do this. It's one of those kind of things. Sandeep, welcome in. I'm doing really, really good. I hope you're doing well. All right. So listen, I'm here to read for you guys, and while I wait for you guys to come in, I'm just doing these What's the Tea cards. Oh, good. Oh, good. All right, let's see what's going on for my Cancers. Grateful, thankful for the messages for all my Cancers. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. There used to be a tab on this YouTube where, I could put messages in and you guys would get that. And I don't know. I don't have it anymore because I was thinking I could let you guys know when I'm not on or when I am on or when I'm going to be on or if I'm not going to be around. One of those things. But I don't know where that button went to. All right, listen, Cancer, we've got a dirty offer coming up. Oh, you're a Capricorn ascendant? Oh, Capricorn rising. See, you got to start stepping into your work, Sandeep. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm just naturally always in work mode. All right, but listen, let's talk about my Cancers. We have the dirty offer coming in for you. So, Cancers, be careful, all right? Because dirty offers, somebody may, want to approach you and do the deed with you. Maybe you're not really into it, but I just feel like somebody wants to talk dirty to you. For some of you guys, that might be, really interesting and fun. For other of you guys, you might get the ick from it. So, however that plays out for you, all right, Cancer? That's the tea on you guys, or on the person that you are interested in. All right, let's move on to my Leos. Leos, listen, put your questions in. I'm happy to read today. I'm in the mood. So while I'm in the mood, let's pull cards. Like I said, I've got all my tarot decks out, so I'm happy to put this deck down and push over to a tarot. That's where my comfort zone is. But let's see what's going on for all of my Leos. All right, Leo, what's the tea on whoever it is you're thinking about? Oop, this card wanted to stay out. You got a dirty offer too. And this one wanted to stay out, and I did shuffle the deck. So, all right, you like Cancers, there could be somebody, who wants to kind of talk a little dirty with you, or maybe somebody's talking dirty about you, but anyway, it's a dirty offer, so I feel like somebody is really interested in you. Let's just make sure we don't go to that ick zone. I was talking to someone about that over the weekend. I was like, don't you have the ick from that person yet? And they're like, well, I'm starting to, so that's what I'm feeling. All right, see what Tony says? Don't let that girl come over and eat all your groceries. All right, let's see what's going on for my Virgos. What's the tea with whoever it is out there in Virgo world? What's the tea on the person? Shivanji, welcome in. All right, Virgo, let's see what's the tea. Karmic friends, can't fully trust them. Tension, secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Be careful. All right, we're back. All right, so listen, karmic friends for my Virgos, so be careful of friendships. All right, if there's somebody that, you've always been, kind of reserved about, we'll say it that way. This whole thing about keep your friends close and your enemies closer, just keep that in mind. If somebody all of a sudden decides that they want to be your best friend and they act like your best friend and they never were your best friend before, all right, so just kind of take that. Bruce is loose. Now, Bruce, listen, this is a nice channel, all right, and I have a nice high vibration, and all right, so Bruce, I hope you're okay. Listen, God approves of me. I know that, so I'm not worried. All right, Shivanji, let's see. I'm back. Can you hear me, Shivanji? What will happen next between you and boyfriend? You broke up. Should I give him chance? If he comes, what will the relationship be between you and him if you give him a chance? Ooh, I don't know. What's the tea on that? Yeah, see, I think you should block him. Some of the same cards are coming out. Isn't that crazy? But according to What's the Tea, they want to block him. But let's see. Oh, you broke up today? I'm sorry. You're not feeling very good, Shivanji. All right, let's see what's going on for all of the messages around Shivanji. Wants to know what's going on with this boyfriend. They just broke up. Funny minds want to know. Let's see let's look at him. Hi, watching. How are you? All right. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Shivanji Singh. All right. Let's see what's going on. All right, Shivanji, this is for you. Let's find out. Listen, it wasn't fair, okay? I just feel like the whole relationship wasn't very balanced. So with that Justice card coming in reverse, and then we have the Ten of Cups coming in reverse, listen, you're better off this is probably, I'm going to say it, a blessing in disguise. I know you don't feel good. You've got that empty hole. You're really sad, you know, but listen, I think you dodged a bullet here, all right? Because this Justice card coming in reversed, you know, this wasn't fair. Maybe you felt a little judged by them. Maybe there was just a lot of things that just weren't right, you know, and in the end, you know, with this Ten of Cups coming in reversed, you know, it wasn't going to be happy down the road. You know, so you want to let them back in. Well, you can let them back in, but, you know, I just don't feel like, you know, it's going to work in the end. So, you know, I have to say, you know, you're going to just let this process. You're going to have to let it process. And eventually, you know, you will start to feel better. You're just going to have to give it some time. But I really feel like this connection is done. And here we have the Star card at the bottom of the deck. So, Shivanji, I just feel like there's no hope in trying to restore this connection. Will it take, how much time will it take? Well, you know, that's all dependent on you, you know. I mean, when we have these energies that come up like this, you know, and we have, you know, a breakup, I mean, we got to feel the feels, right? And maybe, you know, by the end of the week, you'll feel better. Maybe, you know, it's going to linger a little bit longer. But you have to start to turn all of this energy back onto you. You need to like start loving you and take care of you and, you know, do all these things that make you feel good so that you can process away from this relationship. It's going to take some time if it was a long relationship. But I feel like it was going to lead to something worse. I think it was only going to get worse rather than better. So for it to finally reach that point of a breakup, let it be, all right? Just let it be and just kind of let the universe kind of deal with it rather than you try to hang on to it or try to fix it. You know, take the time to breathe, all right? And in taking that time to breathe, you know, you're being told to turn back on you and start taking care of yourself. Well, you know, once you say things, you know, once they're out, you know, that you can't take them back, you know, so that's okay, all right? You said what you said, it's done, it's over. Now we have to just move forward from this point, all right, Shivanji? And I'm really sorry because heartbreak really is painful, and it's a real thing. Ooh, the Guardian Oracle, welcome in, nice to see you. You'd like a guided message for the highest good? Let's find out. Grateful, thankful for the messages. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Guardian Oracle. What can you tell me to tell the Guardian Oracle? Guided message for her highest good. Good. Grateful, thankful for the messages for the Guardian Oracle's highest good. All right, what card do you have? Ooh, we have the Devil card coming out. All right, you got to look at the toxic energies that are around you, whether it's your own personal habits that aren't good or things that you need to change. I mean, when we have this devil energy, all right, this is self-imposed, all right? You know, you can release yourself from these addictions or bad relationships or things that we know are not good for us. So today, Guardian Oracle, make good choices, all right? And if anything you're doing, I mean, we know if we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. You know, let's kind of make good choices and just work on that from that point on. But that's what the devil has to say to you today, Guardian Angel. See, I call you Guardian Angel. All right, let's see, Sandeep, you want to know whether you're getting an investor for your project here real soon. Let's find out. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Sandeep. All right, grateful, thankful. So the Guardian Oracle, I call you a guardian angel, so there must be something about you that's really beautiful. You know, a healing kind of vibe you probably give off. Yeah, so let's clean up our act and, you know, try to walk from a higher vibration. So whatever it is that is dark and low, let's let it go, all right? All right, Sandeep, let's find out what's going on for you. You're getting an investor for your project soon. Let's see what's coming out. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome in. All right, let's see what's going on for Sandeep. Wants to know about the investor. All right, I feel like not right away. We have a block. All right, we have the Chariot card coming in reverse. So I'm not seeing any movement. Let me get another card out for you. Hierophant. But listen, it's better to wait right now because I feel like when you do get the investor, it's going to be really in alignment, all right? Because the Hierophant is about, you know, two people coming together under a big institution. It's not always have to be marriage. It can be a partnership, you know. So there is a block right now with the process. But I think it will come, you know. Maybe, you know, if there was an investor that backs out, just know that the next investor is better than the one that backed out. You know, let them back out, okay? Because if it's not going to work with them, it's better to know before than later. But I think it's going to be a little while. All right, Azad, how are you? Who's your soulmate coming into your life? Would he give me his unconditional love? Rahana. Is that how you say it, Rahana? All right, let's find out. Rahana, let's find out. And then we'll move down to Jacqueline. All right, grateful, thankful for the messages for Rahana. Rahana Khan asking the question on their soulmate. Let's see what comes out in regards to your soulmate. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Rahana Khan. All right, look, we have this coming up. We have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is about getting in some perspective. You know, and what's coming to me is, you know, I want to say, are you going after the ones that aren't good for you? Because sometimes, you know, we're thinking, oh, this person's my type or this person's my type. And, you know, there's things that you hold back. So it's time for you to gain a little bit more perspective and open up. You know, and kind of start to see the possibilities of somebody who you normally would not go out with. All right, let me pull another card. Oh, look, we got the Empress coming out here. Because I feel like, you know, you got to honor yourself, all right? When we meet someone, you know, yeah, it's really exciting and all of that. But is this person, are they going to honor you? Are they going to see you as their empress? And an empress is not a queen, all right? She's bigger than a queen. She's divine. And that's what you need. You need to find somebody who is very divine, you know? So don't just jump to the first person, all right? It's okay to have a high standard, all right? And I think you need to keep your standards high when it comes to meeting your person. All right, Rahana, so that's what I've got for you. And, you know, you might meet somebody, I get the number 3. So, you know, possibly within the next 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, all right? Tarot and time, it was really funny, all right? But that's what I've got for you. Thank you so much, my guardian and oracle, my guardian star. Thank you for the 5 spot. Really appreciate it. Really, really do. Don't be afraid to tip me because, boy, I could sure use it. My car troubles continue. If you have been around a little while, I mean, I've been struggling with car troubles for the last 2-3 months. I think I'm almost to the end, but they still continue. So thank you for the 5 spot. I'm going to add that to the pot to fix my car. All right, let's see who's next. Jacqueline, you have a question. You left your relationship for the better, and I know he's missing you. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Lord Joseph, welcome in. Hey, listen, I was pulling those T cards. Remember I pulled girl fighting? Well, I just want you to know that, boy, I got into a wicked fight with my sister. I mean, it was bad. So there's something about those cards. Anyway, thanks for the 5 spot, Lord Joseph. It's nice to see you. All right, let's see. We're moving into Jacqueline. She wants to know whether or not her person is missing them. Grateful, thankful. You love the tea. Yeah, I'll pull some more tea cards here in a bit. All right, let's see, Jacqueline. Let's see. 6 of Pentacles. They're not missing you. All right. I think you breaking up with this person and ending the relationship, Jacqueline, was what you needed to do. It was the right thing. And I don't feel like they're really missing you. If they did, they would have called you by now, right? But no, I don't feel like they're really missing you. All right, is it Saitija? Saitija. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Mommy. Hi, watching. Oh, gosh, I got all kinds of people pulling cards. All right, listen. I'm just going to kind of go down the line here. We're going to see Wife Smiley will be coming back to you. Let's find out whether Wife Smiley is going to come back to Saitija. I think that's how we say that. All right, let's find out. All right, upright for yes, reverse for no. I think she will. All right, there's some deep feelings, but there's a block. Okay, we see this block here. There is a block happening right now. Give it some time. all right? Because I think there's something that is really deep inside of your wife that she's processing. But the card did come up upright, you know, and that's usually my indication for yes. You know, but right now, I just feel as if there's something going on. So, you know, sometimes we need to give people space, all right? And with space comes in time, there's clarity. And with that, you know, I think that you'll find that she does come back. Oh, yep, and here we have the Eight of Wands showing itself. So, and I think when it finally does, you see this star right here? This to me is like healing. And I feel like there's hope. So stay hopeful, all right? But if you know what the block is about, then, you know, maybe you need to address that. All right, so that's what I've got for you. Mandy, let's pull a card for you. Grateful, thankful for the messages from Mandy Gregory. I always like to see her come back in. All right, let's see, Mandy, let's find out what is going on for you. Grateful, thankful for the messages from Mandy. All right, your card is that of the Queen of Wands. Now, this is interesting energy, all right, because this is somebody that, you know, could be unhappy, you know, not feeling like themselves. This can also indicate, you know, if there's any jealousy that's coming up, you know, you may have some jealousy, some energy around that. I mean, you know, the Queen of Wands, when she is upright, all right, she's very charismatic. She likes to be, you know, in the social limelight. And maybe you don't feel like you're seen. Maybe you're not feeling as if, you know, people are paying attention to you or they don't value you the way that they should, you know. So we got to turn yourself around here with this Queen of Wands, you know, and stand in your power. You know, when we feel a little jealous or insecure, you know, it kind of affects us, you know, and, you know, be confident and be proud of who you are, all right? Because I feel like that's where you have the most value. Oh, and I see a wish coming through for you, Mandy. We have the Nine of Cups. So if there is something you are wishing for, I feel like that is going to come through for you. So, yeah, be proud of who you are, Mandy. All right. Let's see, Mommy, what's going on? Future predictions for Mommy. Let's find out. Any future predictions for Mommy? Let's see what's coming towards Mommy. I hope that made sense, Mandy. Maybe you have reasons to be jealous, but you know, when we're in our power, that jealousy doesn't exist. All right, so be strong, be you, be proud. All right, let's see, Mommy. What are future predictions that you can give me for Mommy? All right, here comes. We have, ooh, the Ten of Cups. I like that, you know, so family is really good. There could be somebody that, you know, you question, all right? Maybe this is your partner. I don't know. We do have the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is an energy that really kind of talks about family. So I think, you know, family will be very important for you, but I'm going to say within the next 3 months, all right? We're moving into the holiday seasons, you know, and there's a lot of family activity. However, you know, with that being said, we do have the Four of Swords coming in. All right, the Four of Swords is an unsettled energy around a situation that has been a little painful. And I feel like, you know, rather than, you know, kind of go back to a situation or feel hurt in some way, I feel like you're going to choose to not engage. This is the Five of Swords reverse. And if somebody has been running around, sneaking around, and this is where you're feeling the hurt, or maybe there's something that's been going on behind your back, and maybe you do know about it, I feel like you're going to pick your battles. All right. And, you know, some things are just not worth fighting for. And I think a situation that has hurt you in the recent past is not going to be worth fighting for in the future. All right. So that's what I've got for you. All right, Mommy. All right, watching. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. You need some guidance on your job and more broadly, your career path. All right. Let's see what's going on for watching. She wants to know about guidance with the job. What can you tell me? Well, watching regarding job and the career path. You're welcome, Mommy. Laura Lee, how are you? Hi, Timmy. Good evening from England. Good afternoon from New Mexico. All right. All right, let's see what's going on for watching. Watching needs to know a little bit about job, career, and all of that. You know, when it comes to your job and your career, I saw the Ace of Cups come in reversed. You know, if you're not doing something you absolutely love, you know, then you got to start looking for what it is that you love. Because here, look, we have this Ace of Wands coming in reverse, and I saw the Ace of Cups. So there is something that you love to do, all right? Something you're really passionate about, but you're not doing it. And I feel as if you need to start focusing on that. I'm not saying quit your day job. I'm saying start working towards we're moving into a job where you get up and you look forward to it, where you get up and you just can't wait to get to work, to dig into what you do. Let's pull another card. Yeah, we got the Six of Pentacles coming in reversed. I just feel like right now you're in a situation that you're not really happy with. All right, the Six of Pentacles coming in reverse. Maybe you're feeling a little breadcrumbed in your work. Maybe they're promising to give you a raise. They don't do that, or maybe they promise a promotion, all that kind of stuff. I just feel like, you are putting off doing something you truly love to do. Can we get an idea of what that might be? Five of Swords. See, again, I'm feeling like, you need to believe and fight for what it is that you really want to do and not be afraid to go after it. A lot of times we dream, oh my gosh, if I could only be a massage therapist, but that would require me going through all of these projects, and I have to go to the school and I have to do this and I have to get certified here and blah, blah, blah. And, all the reasons why you're not going to do it. So you're going to stay what? Being a cashier behind a register, in a store, and not do that thing that you want. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm just feeling like you need to start working towards that job that you really want to do. And, believe that, it's possible. Just believe it really is possible. All right, so that's what I've got for you. All right, let's see who's next. Let's see. All right, me too. Listen, a lot of my friends are in the same boat as me. It was really crazy this weekend. My sister showed up. I call her my sister, and she's like, don't talk to me about car problems. And then my friend over here was going, oh my God, we just got 4 new tires and then one popped, So I'm not alone in the car. Hoping that we will make it through. Listen, I've got... What's up, husband? Get out of the way. All right, I'm back. All right, who's next? Let's see. Laura Lee, how are you? You missed desired time to contact your sister? Is that a question? All right, Judy, what's going on? Oh, Judy went to England. Michelle, you're a Taurus. You want a card, Michelle? There's just a few of us in the house. I'm happy to read for you. If not, I'm going to go back to What's the Tea. I think I finished with Virgo, and I'll pull a couple of those cards. All right, Laura Lee, let's find out. Oh, look, we got a Virgo coming in. All right, Laura Lee, what can you tell me to tell Laura Lee today? What does Laura Lee need to hear? Hi, Love Bug. The Love Bug Blues. I'm waving back to you. Pretty pink hands. Thanks, Lord Joseph, for the 5 spot. Really appreciate you. Come back and hear what the tea is on Aquarius when I get there, all right? All right, have a great day. All right, Laura Lee, let's find out. All right, we got the 10 of Pentacles coming in reverse. Money could be an issue. There could be some energy that you've been, wanting to put into something, because we do have the 7 of Pentacles. Be patient. I mean, if you are in need of some money, if you are in need to save some more money, if you're like me, we're really struggling here, just be patient, because I feel as if you're close for things to work. I wouldn't throw in the towel. All right. And I'm also picking up, like, there could be some kind of expenditure that you're not really ready for, that you might have to deal with. So with this Ten of Pentacles, reversed, like I said, there could be a chunk of money that's going to be needed to be spent on something. But, and if it is something that you are working on and you're just wondering whether or not you should continue, stick with it, because the Seven of Pentacles says you put a lot of time and a lot of energy into making something happen. So don't throw in the towel before it actually comes through, all right? So, things are going to work out. All right, so don't give up. Right, Laura Lee? And as for a time frame, the 10 comes up, and the 7. Listen, I would give it, maybe 7 to 10 weeks is what feels good to me. In 7 to 10 weeks, now we're looking towards the end of the year. But don't give up, all right? All right, let's see what's going on. Timmy, you're feeling pretty stuck right now. Could you have a card? Absolutely. Let's get a card, my friend in England. Timmy, what's going on for Timmy? All right, grateful, thankful for the messages. For Timmy, feeling a little stuck. What can you tell me to tell Timmy? Grateful, thankful. Hi, Dennis. All right, Timmy, you ready? Let's see what's coming up for you. All right, listen, we got the King of Swords energy coming in reversed, all right? So this is a very harsh energy, all right? The King of Swords is, when it comes in reverse, it could be like, not being as open-minded as you need to be, because the King of Swords thinks they know everything, So I feel like you got to be a little bit more open-minded about the situation that you are involved with, because you do feel blocked, all right? And I'm just sensing that, narrow-mindedness gives you tunnel vision, and you're not seeing a bigger perspective or a bigger picture on the situation. All right, so I would say maybe you can get in a little hot air balloon and rise up above your situation and look down on it and see the whole picture to help you get unblocked, because the Chariot here, that's coming in as a block, is keeping you from being able to move forward. And with that King coming in reverse, I just feel like, you've got to be a little bit more compromising, open-minded. Don't be, don't hang on to something so tight that, it can't break loose, all right? I think you just need to loosen up a little bit and things will start to work out. All right, let's see. Who's next? Dennis. The house you moved into, it's haunted, and I think it's really doing a job on me financially. Oh, my goodness. All right, listen, hold on. I got to get rid of somebody who is just not nice. All right, let's see. All right, they're going to go away. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Dennis. Listen, if your house is haunted, okay, see this? This is called cedar. Okay, it grows in a lot of places, all right? Get some cedar and burn it and walk around your house, above all the doorways, under beds, in closets, smudge your house completely. And as you're doing it, talk to these spirits. If you think it's haunted, open the windows, as you're doing this, and send them on their way. And if they don't want to go away, then they have to be nice. They have to leave you alone and not mess with you. But don't be afraid, to deal with them. All right, let's see what's going on. Let me see what the cards have to say for you, Dennis. You wrote a book about it. Holy crap. My ex-husband, he's a Kiowa Cheyenne medicine person. And we had to go to this house that was haunted. And it was really wild. He had me holding the cedar while he took his eagle feather and he was, he's doing his prayers or whatever. And oh my God, this screech out of nowhere all of a sudden happened. And, we all stopped and looked at each other like, whoa, and whoever it was or whatever it was, boy, he got rid of it in that house. It was pretty crazy. But let's see, Dennis, what's going on with you in this haunted house? It's doing a job on you financially. Oh, look, here you are in the Four of Cups. All right, you got to really sit with this, all right? Because are you hanging on to the house for what reason? Can you sell the house? Can you get rid of the house? Because when we have the Four of Cups energy, it's just like, you're looking at this cup, which to me represents the house. And it's just like, why are you hanging on to it? If it's haunting you and it's financially draining you, I think you need to stop and look at all the reasons why you want to stay there. Maybe you feel challenged by this haunted spirit that's in there. Maybe, this is a house that, you're going to fight for. And if you are, is it worth it? So I just feel like with this Four of Cups coming in, he's sitting in meditation, really kind of think about, whether or not this is really where you want to be. All right. That's what's come up for you, Dennis, in regards to that. Hi, Michelle. How are you? But sage is not cedar, okay? Now, I have teachings from the Native American community, the Navajos, the Kiowas, the Cheyennes, the Arapahoes. Those are the tribes that, I've spent the last 25 years sitting in ceremony with. And now I am also, being trained through the Huichols, the Huirica people down in Mexico. Different smudges have different purposes, all right? And the sage is a nice cleansing energy. Cedar is very different than sage. And cedar has different power and energy than sage does. In the teachings that we have, we use cedar that way. So try cedar, all right? And, cedar copal is what's used by the Huichols. That's ancient tree cedar sap, So, find cedar, okay? It's not sage. And try that and see what happens. All right, Michelle, let's see. You want a card. Grateful, thankful for the messages. For Michelle, what can you tell me to tell Michelle? Grateful, thankful for the messages. Hey, thanks for the likes, the comments, the shares. Hit that like button. Thanks for the super chats. Really appreciate those. All right, let's see what's going on for Michelle. What can you tell me to tell Michelle? Grateful, thankful for the messages. For Michelle. All right, let's see. What's going on for Michelle? We got the Five of Pentacles, Michelle. So listen, do you have somebody who's holding you from being able to do things? I mean, we got this arm around this person and we got this dog kind of warning you. And the Five of Pentacles is about not having what you need, feeling very alone, like things aren't working in your favor. It's a little depressive kind of energy. But I'm also wondering whether somebody is keeping you there. And if it is, Michelle, then, you're being warned here by this dog that maybe it's time for you to break away. Maybe it's time for you to find another way to, pull yourself out of this energy of the Five of Pentacles. Let me pull another card for you. The Moon card coming in reversed. See, the Moon card coming in reverse is you've got some really deep feelings and you know that you need to make this change. You know that you need to kind of pull yourself out of it, but something is blocking you. See the block right there? Something is blocking you and it's time for you to remove whatever it is or whoever it is that is keeping you from being able to move on and make your money. Maybe you're in a situation where somebody doesn't want you to go get a job, but you want a job to have your own money so you can do your own thing and be more independent. I mean, it's this kind of an energy. Don't let whoever it is or whatever it is keep you from doing what it is that's calling you to do. Because the Moon card, these are very deep, very psychic, very intuitive energies when this Moon card comes in. And when it's reversed, it's wanting you to kind of look at things and get past whatever it is that is keeping you in this position that has you all alone. And I think intuitively you're kind of being told. So pay attention to that. All right, Michelle? Love Bug Blues, absolutely. Let's pull a card for you. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Love Bug Blues. What can you tell me to tell Love Bug Blues? Grateful, thankful for the messages. Hi, Candy Apple. I always feel like you're so bright, Candy. I'm good. Listen, I'm pulling a card for Love Bug, and then I'll be happy to pull one for you too, Candy. All right, let's see what's going on for Love Bug Blues. Whoa. All right, let's see what's going on for Love Bug. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Love Bug. All right, let's see. Your card, Love Bug. Oh, Four of Cups has come back out. All right, so when we have the Four of Cups, this is an energy of sometimes being bored. Sometimes, not knowing what it is we really want, things in the past. Here we have these 3 cups around you, sitting in meditation. I mean, you're focusing on a cup of love, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I would love to meet someone. I would love to have that person that just totally fulfills me. So you gotta kind of look at, like, are you being too picky? Or you're not being picky enough, and that's why it's not working out. I mean, you've got to really focus on really what is it that you want? Who are you looking for? Let's pull another card. 2 of Pentacles. All right. So, like, you've got to start balancing, your life with what it is that will work for you. All right. Because sometimes we get involved with people and it's just not going to work. And sometimes we get involved with people and it keeps us from doing, what we want to do. You know how, like, when people get together and then all of a sudden they disappear and you don't see your friends for a while until you break up, and then all of a sudden you're back hanging out with your friends. I just feel like, rather than always being on the fence trying to make something work, just kind of let love find you. All right. Be out there doing you and let that person find you. And I think you're going to be a lot happier. And if it comes to work, all right, and you're really struggling to make everything work, maybe you need to look at what is it that you would love to do, and then start focusing on how could I do just that and make all the money that I really need in that capacity. So a couple messages for you, all right? All right, let's see, love bug. I hope that worked and made sense for you. All right, Candy Apple, let's pull a card for you. Grateful, thankful. Oh, I'm so glad you're watching my videos, Candy. All right, grateful, thankful for the messages for Candy Apple. What can you tell me to tell Candy Apple? All right, let's see what's going on, Candy. This message is for you, and then I'll read for Kendra. All right, grateful, thankful for the messages for Candy Apple. All right, let's see. All right, Candy, you have the 6 of Cups coming up. I like this, so I feel like memories. There's things from your past. I think you got to start looking at some really good feelings from your past that could probably help you right now. Let's pull another card for you. 8 of Swords. See, you're in your head. All right, when we have the 8 of Swords, it's a lot of mental energy. This is a lot of, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on, But I feel as if, you need to start to remember some of the good times, and the strengths that you can pull from your past, rather than, oh my gosh, this never worked for me, so I'm not going to do it now. But you got to get out of your head, and there's something that you're being very stubborn about, and you're not wanting to let go, all right? Sometimes we can be our own worst enemies when we're in our brain. So I'm just feeling like you, Candy, you really need to kind of let go of something or someone, that you've been holding on to for a long time. It's not working for you. So let's let it go, and if this is something that you can't seem to let go of, then you're going to have to find, okay, if I can't let go of it, what can I do instead of that? But don't overthink everything, because this is you really being in your head, and you got this blindfold on, and it's just like, if you take the blindfold off, you're not as stuck in a situation, and things aren't as bad as you want to believe. All right, Candy, so that's what I've got for you. Thank you, watching. Thanks for the $4.99. Really appreciate you. Oh, I'm happy. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the super chats. All right, Greta. Oh, wait, Kendra. Let's pull a card for Kendra. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Kendra. And then I'll do you, Greta, all right? All right, Kendra, let's find out. Kendra would like a card. What can you tell me to tell Kendra? All right, Kendra, here it comes. Oops. Now, listen, I've got the 5 of Pentacles sticking out, but I don't think that was for you. So let's shuffle them real good here and see what's coming out. Just for you, Kendra. What message can you tell me to tell Kendra moving forward? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Kendra, always. All right, Kendra, let's see what is going on. All right, the Magician, I like that. It's time for you to shed a skin. All right, we are in the year of the snake, so there's a lot of changes going on. Things that, just seem to be crumbling or falling away. I mean, we're at a place in time right now, and I feel, Kendra, this is really specific to you, that, you've got to shed this old skin. See the snake? He's shedding the skin because you have the gifts of the Magician. The gifts of the magician says, you know, I have all the tools I need to make whatever I need work for me. I have the cups, which is love. I have the intelligence of the swords, the passion of the wands, and I have the ability to make the money that I need. So I feel as if it's time for you to make magic, Kendra, all right? And believe in yourself, all right? You are the magician. You can make things happen, so do it, all right? Great energy for you, Kendra. I like that. All right, listen, Greta needs to know what she should do. What should Greta do? Grateful, thankful for the messages. Yeah, it's a great message. I feel very much like that. You know, there has been a real shedding of skin in my own life, you know, and I feel like, you know, I have the ability to make whatever I need happen. I just need to believe it, and sometimes I don't, you know. It's a legal situation with Greta. Uh-oh. What does Greta need to do regarding this legal situation? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Greta. All right, let's see, Greta, what's going on? There's a legal situation. Grateful, thankful to each and every one of you guys. I'm having a good time over here. I really like reading for you guys. All right, what can you tell Greta regarding this legal situation around an inheritance? All right, here comes the message. Are you ready? All right, we got the World card. It's not over. All right, so I feel like you're close to an ending, but you're not there. The Four of Pentacles says, you know, you might need to open up a little bit, all right? Because when we have the Four of Pentacles, we hang on so tightly, all right? Usually the traditional one, we've got the hands crossing your chest, you know, it's just like, I don't want to open up because this is all I have, you know? And I'm just feeling that maybe you need to open up a little bit more. You know, the Five of Swords. Some things are not worth fighting for, all right? So I feel as if you're really kind of stuck and you're holding on to your perspective or what you really want. The Five of Swords says we got to look at whether or not it's really worth fighting for this, you know, because there's something that's keeping this from moving forward. Maybe it's somebody else that's involved, you know, that is not wanting to open up or to change their perspective. And I feel like this is almost saying, you know, what's really worth it and what is it I should fight for and what shouldn't I? So you just got to kind of really weigh it all out, you know, and really pick your battles through this one and say, is this really worth fighting for? And if the answer is yes, then let's do it, all right? And if it's like, is this really worth fighting for? And here I'm saying, like, it's probably not worth it, you know, to go through all of this. It's better to end it because this ending will bring peace of mind. All right, so that's what I've got for you. I hope that helped, Greta. Really do. Sam, how are you? You want to know what Al is? Let's see. What does it say? I'm in Samaria. Will. I don't know. Al, meet me. What he thinks of you. Let's find out. Did that make sense, Greta? I hope it made sense. All right, let's see. Sam Khan. Let's find out. What does he think of you? What does Al think of you? I guess that's what I'm asking for. All right, let's see, Sam. What's going on for you? All right, listen, there's no hope here. All right, so how are they thinking about you? You know, they're not feeling hopeful about this connection. Let's pull another card. They're a little hung up, okay? So I feel as if they're on the fence. And whenever somebody's like on the fence, it's usually like a no. It's just like, you know, when you're sure of something, you're sure of it. You know, if you're sure you want to do this, then it's a yes, you know. And if you're positive you don't want to do it, it's a no. And I feel like this guy is just kind of sitting on the fence dangling, you know, just, I don't know. You know, that is a no to me. All right, so I don't feel like there's hope with this connection with this person. And, you know, they're pretty strapped in their own ways, or maybe this is you wanting to hang on to it, but I don't feel like this is the wish that you really are after. All right, Sam, so I would move on from this, all right, and kind of see things from another perspective, because that's what the Hanged Man is always asking us to do, to see things from all angles rather than just from one direction. Because, you know, a lot of times we want things to be a certain way, right? And we want this to work out, but if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and we've got to accept that. All right? So that's what I got for you guys. So listen, before I end, I want to continue pulling the What's the Tea card for the rest of the Zodiac signs. but you choose to fight, I will win. Oh, let's find out, Greta. All right, listen, if Greta chooses to fight, will she win? Because you're close to an ending here. So let's see. Let me find that out. All right, let me cut the deck. Wait, I need to get another deck, is what it's telling me. Let me do a different deck and see if we get the answer that we're looking for. If Greta chooses to fight, look at that. You know, this is you standing up for yourself. 7 of Wands. So I like that. All right, let's see. If she chooses to fight, will she win? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Greta. So that's 7 of Wands. Look at this, 8 of Wands. I'm feeling very hopeful. I'm feeling like if you choose to fight, you could win. What can you, upright for yes, reverse for no. What can you tell me about Greta? If she fights, will she win? Oh, you sure will. Look at this. You got the 9 of Pentacles. This is you having what you want, feeling very independent. I think you need to really speak up. Right, because we do have the Queen of Wands here. Maybe this is somebody that you are fighting against. I think they're a little jealous of you, honestly. But I do feel like, yes, you will win if you fight for this, all right? But, that 7 of Wands that I saw, this is against all odds. People are going to be charging you and saying this and this and this, but you are rising above them. Let me see if I can find that card. Quickly find that card, because in the 7 of Wands, you're above all those other things. So I would say, yeah, go fight for it, Greta. Go fight for it. All right. Let's see. Candy Apple, you want to know about career and finances? All right, let's find out. Would it lead to family and children? Well, career and finances is something completely different than family and children. But, when we feel secure, then, it's okay and safe to have kids, right? Let's find out about your career, Candy. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Candy Apple about career and finance. Let's see, what can you tell me to tell Candy regarding career and finance? Now that I have a whole other deck going on here, let's see what the messages come out. All right, let's see. Look at that. Your career. I see you, Candy, as an older person. You're going to have money. You're going to have, look, you got this chest with this money, being able to save money. I want to say yes. And, you want to know whether it'll lead to family. The Queen of Pentacles, to me, is a wife card. So, yes, I do feel like your career and your finances are going to lead to, you being able to support a family, have a family, and be very secure. And I like that, the Queen is an older person. I don't know how old you are, Candy. But I do feel like, yes, your career and your finances are going to end up in a good way at the end of the day. So I like that. Oh, good, Greta. Yeah, speak up, when challenged by those wands that people are going to say, but, you're going to say, no buts. This is how it's going to be. No, this is why I need that, So, yeah, go fight, Greta. Good for you. Good for you. All right, listen, I think that's everyone. Like I said, I want to go back to what's the tea and see if anybody else is going to come through. And I'm going to finish the zodiac signs real quick. We want to see what's the tea on everybody. Grateful, thankful for the messages for all of us. Right? Yeah, I'm behind you, Greta. I really am. You got this. That's right, Candy. She's got this. All right. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Libras. What's the tea on the person that my Libras are thinking about? What can you tell me to tell my Libras? Boy, I'm really pulling for you. Let me burn some cedar for you, all right, Greta? I'll send some good prayers your way, for a good outcome for Greta. There. Just a good outcome for you. Light that fire. All right, let's see. My Libras, what's the tea on the person that you are thinking about, Libra? What's the tea? What's the tea? Fake flexing. Acts rich, flosses money, acts fancy, shows off. All right, if this is you or this is the person you're thinking about, somebody's got a big ego is what I'm feeling, and it's one of these things. I actually know a Libra that's very much like this. They live way beyond their means. They've got champagne taste on a beer budget, and that's what I'm feeling. Somebody is trying to act like they're a bigger or more important person than they really are, Libra. So let's kind of let them have their ego, and maybe you have a pin, you can pop it a little. Deflate that ego, all right? Bring them back into reality. All right, let's see what's going on for my Scorpios. What's the tea on the person that my Scorpios are interested in? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Scorpios. Hey, hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, let's see what's going on for my Scorpios. What's the tea? We got a groupie. All right, I feel like there's people that really admire you. I wonder whether or not you might have a job or you're in a situation where, you're in the limelight. Maybe you're a singer, maybe you're an actor, maybe, you have an amazing artistic piece that you are about to produce. I'm feeling like, there are people that, just want to be like you. And actually, I have a friend of mine. She's not a Scorpio, but she has a Scorpio moon. And she actually just started to put some music out on Spotify. And I'm kind of thinking of her, it's just like, yeah, people may really like what you do. So get yourself out there, because I feel like a lot of people will just want your autograph. All right, Scorpio? Oh, good, Judy. Listen, I just go out. I have little pinon trees. I just break some off, and I have a little bowl over here. And I come back, from my walk, and I set it there. And I always have cedar around. Don't be afraid to use the elements that are outside. Nature is here to guide us, believe it or not. If we let it, it will take care of us. Oh, that's good. That's really grounding, Candy. Really, really grounding. Yeah, I love, that sun, it rises for all of us. It does. Every morning that sun rises and it shines down upon us, wherever we are in the world. Even if it's raining, that sun still comes up, because after the rain, comes a beautiful sky and a beautiful rainbow and things like that. So that sun, the grass, the ground, the earth, it's here to ground us, guide us, and make us feel good. So tune into nature. All right, let's see. Sagittarius, what's the tea on the person or situation that you are thinking about, Sag? All right, we got running. All right, somebody's running. Now, this could be a situation that you're running away from. Some of you may actually need to start running. I'm not a runner. I have really, really bad knees, so I'll never be running down the road. But there's an energy of running, and I'm getting running away. So quit running away, turn around and face it. All right, because whenever we're running from a situation, it'll continue to chase us and follow us until we stop. It's like, when they say you have a bad dream, in your dream, turn around and face that demon, and all of a sudden the demon puff is gone, and I'm feeling that from my Saggies. So quit running away and face whatever it is you need to face, Sag. All right, here comes the sun, the Beatles. When do you think we're going to get another group like the Beatles or another really big person? I know we got Taylor Swift, but she's not universal, all right? I'm not a Taylor Swift person. There's a lot of people that aren't, When are we going to have that next musician that kind of really goes across the world? I'm waiting for that to happen. Am I the only one that thinks that, But I'm like, when is there going to be another Michael Jackson? When is there going to be another Elvis Presley? It's like, we're due for that, don't you think? I think we are. Oh, Greta, thank you for the 149. Really appreciate it. Boy, I've got my fingers crossed for you, Greta. Really, really do. All right, grateful, thankful for the messages from my Capricorns. What's the tea on my Capricorns? What can you tell me to tell my Capricorns? What's the tea on my Cappies? All right, Capricorn. We have bad karma. Ruh-roh. All right, so listen, if you're in a situation, karma's a bitch, right? That's what they say, and I feel like there's some bad karma. Careful what you do, all right? If you have ill intentions towards someone, that's just going to come back on you, all right? The final solution to everything in this world is love, all right? If we approach things from gratitude and love, good things will happen. But if we start having bad intentions, like, oh, I hope they get into a car accident, I mean, that's bad karma. You know, you don't want to wish ill on anybody. So Capricorn, if you're having these thoughts, you know, about someone or something, you know, let's see if you can turn it around, because like I said, karma's a bitch and we don't want that to happen. All right. Oh, and this card wanted to flip out, so I've got to talk about it. It could end up in a big loss. Okay. So Ten of Pentacles coming in reversed. It really kind of hit it. I hit that deck accidentally, but I don't think it was an accident. So Capricorn, let's be careful. All right. All right, let's see what's going on for my Aquarians. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Aqua. Aquarius, what's the T on the person that you are thinking about or the situation? Can you tell me what the T is? All right, let's see. What's the T for my Aquarians? All right, Aquarians, we have spiritual hater. Hates on your spirituality, light, magic, and power. All right, man, there's somebody, boy, just really jealous of you. You know, maybe they don't like that, you know, you have a real positive vibe and they don't, you know, but I just feel like there's somebody who, you know, doesn't like your light, you know, well, that's on them, you know, shine bright, because that's just reflecting back on them. All right, so you got a spiritual hater out there, all right? Be careful of that, all right? Protect yourself, you know, don't let anybody, you know, kind of get to you. It's just like, because, you know, they can't harm you. Many years ago, a friend of mine told me that, you know, evil can only reach 99%. Love will always be 100%. So, you know, let the haters hate. You know, it's only because you're shining bright. All right, that's what I got for my Aquarians. Now, what can you tell me to tell my Pisces? Last but not least, Pisces. All right, Pisces, are you ready? What's the T on the person or the situation that you are dealing with? Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Pisces. What's the T? What can you tell me to tell Pisces? The love triangle, third party, multiple lovers, and choices. Well, that's a very Piscean energy right there. All right, so some of you Pisces out there might have a third party situation brewing, all right? You know, listen, if you intuitive feel like somebody's cheating on you, this card would say, yes, they are. You know, there's just a third element that's getting in the way of your happiness. All right, so take that, Pisces, you know. All right, let's see. Somebody came in. Malavika, is that how we say it? Malavika would like a reading. Hi, Roxanne. Welcome in. Your sister's hating you, but doesn't bother me. That's good, Roxanne. I don't know. I think I really got my sister to stop and think about how she was treating me. She was being so nice to me. And I think she was trying to be nice, and in trying to be nice, she was only making things worse and really got me angry. But I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm about to see her. I haven't seen her in 2 years, and I'm going to see her this weekend. I'm flying to the East Coast. So if you see me in an airport, wave, say hi. I'll be traveling. All right, let's see. Malaikaha. What's going on for you? A free reading. What can you tell me to tell? I'm going to call you Malu, okay? Because the first name is just, it's throwing me. Right? What can you tell me to tell Malu? A free reading for Malavika Malu. King of Wands, are you dealing with a cheater? I mean, this is somebody, I don't like the King of Wands reverse. I got to be really honest. Every time this guy shows up upside down, he's fooling around. He's saying all kinds of things. He doesn't mean any of it. Be careful of this energy. And if you have a feeling, you know, like, you know, he's not being on the up and up, and he promises that he'll show up and then he doesn't show up. I mean, you can't believe the King of Wands, all right? Because they're so in love with themselves that they don't care about anybody else. So if you're involved with someone like this, I want to say run, all right? Because this is not the kind of person that you really want to be around, all right? So that's what I've got for you, Malu. Okay, let's see. Hello, what is the next move I'm feeling for a scene? Okay, you're 32, he's 51. Well, there's an age difference there. Let's see. Oh, I think it'll be memorable. I'm going to my aunt's 90th birthday party. So it's a big shindig along the river, you know? So, yeah, it should be good. I haven't seen my family in many, many years because everybody, my family's on the East Coast. I'm in the Southwest, you know? So I don't get over there very quickly. I happen to like the Southwest a lot more than the East Coast. All right, let's see. Ikra, I don't know how to say your name, but let's find out. Next move and feelings for Asim. Can you tell me to tell her? All right, the Knight of Wands. Listen, you know, this person is all talk, all right? He talks in circles, all right? But the truth is he wants to move away. He wants to be free. And then we have the Judgment card. So I feel like there's going to be like an in and out kind of connection here. It's just like maybe he goes away and then he comes back and, you know, but this Judgment card, I mean, this is about you moving on, all right? Because if this person is a lot of talk, I mean, talk. Promises we're going to go here. Promises we're going to do that. We're going to go here. He's upside down. He's not doing any of that, all right? And I feel like with this Judgment card is for you to have an awakening, because a lot of times that's what represents the Judgment card, you know, to just like, I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm not going to wait for this guy. And that's what I would say for you. You know, because the big age difference, believe it or not, it's going to matter moving forward. All right, and especially with like a 20-year age difference. It may not matter right now, but listen, this guy, move on, right? That's what I got to say for that. Preeti, welcome in. How are you? All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up here, unless Preeti wants me to pull a card. But you're going to need to tell me that within like the next 10 seconds here, all right? And if not, I sure appreciate you all. I appreciate the super chats very much, really, very, very much. So please, take what works and leave what doesn't. I'm just having a good time over here. What's the tea is just a fun way to kind of check in on people. But anyway, I will be back. Hopefully I can come back right before I leave. Actually, I may actually be while I'm gone because I know it's going to be a long trip and I'm going to stay one night in a hotel room, you know, before the shindig, and then, you know, maybe I'll come on live then from another location. Anyway, grateful, thankful for each and every one of you guys. Preeti, do you want a card? Say yes or no, real quick. Yes or no, just a Y or an N. Type it in quick, because if not, I'm going to move on my way. All right. See, I knew you wanted a reading. All right, let's find out their thoughts on you. Is there any positive future with Akshay? Is that how you say it? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Preeti, my last reading here. Grateful, thankful for her energy. Oh no, Roxanne, no. I'll do a card for you. It's not like I'm gonna go do anything, you know. I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to turn on the app. And, you know, I do read cards on another app, all right? So if you ever want a reading, you cannot tell them that you know, if you mention YouTube, I get this letter that says I can't be on YouTube promoting them, you know, but I am on another app. All right, it has to do with the color purple. So if you ever want a reading, that's a good way to get a reading from me, personal, all right? Just saying. All right, let's see, Preeti, let's find out. What's the future with you and Akshay? All right, we got the Wheel of Fortune. Looks good. You know, maybe you guys are going to be moving in together. He's a little reserved, though. You know, maybe there's a house or something that, you know, you're looking at or you want to move in together. He's sitting here going, I don't know if I really want to do this. So I feel like he's got a little cold feet. And the last card, the High Priestess coming in reversed. So listen, if you're feeling like this person has cold feet moving forward, you're right, all right? They don't really want to move forward. I think if they did, it would be good, you know? But I just feel like whoever you're dealing with, Akshay, is that their name? You know, they've got cold feet, all right? All right, Roxanne, what's your question? Roxanne, come back, Monica. Go ahead, Monica. Let's. I'm still here, so let's read while you guys are coming in. Do your spirit guides have any messages for you? All right, Roxanne, let's find out. Grateful, thankful for my sister over here, Roxanne. We could be sisters because we have the same kind of sister. What can you tell me to tell Roxanne? What's the messages coming through for Roxanne? All right, Roxanne, here it comes. Here's your card. We've got the Five of Swords. All right, listen, regardless of whether other people say or do or want you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Because I see here that these people, they wouldn't do what you do. But that's okay. You know, the Five of Swords is about believing in fighting for your voice, fighting for what you want to do. All right, so don't worry about everyone else because you're very confident. All right, as long as you got the confidence, then you're good. All right, Roxanne. All right, let's see, Monica. Career reading for you. You're looking for a new job. What can you tell me to tell Monica? I do want to say cast your net outward. All right, grateful, thankful. Yeah, that Five of Swords. I mean, there's fighting energy there, you know, so fight for what you believe in. Do whatever it is you want to do, regardless of other people's warnings or cautions. All right, Roxanne. All right, Monica, let's focus on you. What's going on for a career for you? You are looking for a new job. I want to cut the deck and shuffle one more time. What can you tell me about Monica and getting a new job? And again, cast the net outward, all right? You know, look for a job in other things than what you are thinking you should do, all right? I mean, honestly, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm really feeling. Six of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Look, you're going to get a job, all right? And I feel like, you know, the Six of Cups is going, remember what you loved to do when you were younger. What did you always want to do? I feel like you're going to get an offer if you go in that direction, all right? So cast the net outward, all right? Be open to what it is you really want and whatever it is that you were looking for. You know, I mean, I was told a long time ago by a really good friend of mine, you know, if you want a job, I'm an artist, right? And they said, if you want a job and, you know, you want to get your art out there, go get a job in a gallery. You know, don't own the gallery, get a job at the gallery. No matter what it is, get your foot in that door and start there. And then from there, you'll be able to work your way up to where it is that you want to do. All right, so that's what I got for you, Monica. Judy, my friend, absolutely. Let's find out. What can you tell me to tell my friend Judy? Guided message for Judy. What can you tell me? Thanks, Roxanne. Grateful, thankful for Judy Bartholomew. Thank you for her healing, her guiding spirit. What can you tell me to tell Judy? What can you tell me to tell Judy? Grateful, thankful for messages for Judy Bartholomew. What can you tell me to tell Judy? All right, listen, judgment card. Look, you know, this is an awakening. You're having a total awakening, Judy. All right, and I like this because this one, it's about you moving to your own beat. This is you like moving forward with joy and, you know, ending an old cycle. You know, the World card follows this judgment card, you know, because all of a sudden you have a realization, you know, and it's just like, you know what, this is the road I want to walk down and this is what I'm going to do. So I feel like this is your message, Judy, you know, to follow your spirit, you know. I mean, there's just, life is different now, and I think you're starting to see it differently. And with that, doors will open for you. So I love that for you, all right, Judy? Love, love, love that. You're welcome, Monica. Yay, Brandon, you just subscribed. Thank you. Thanks for the likes, the comments, and the subscribes. I really appreciate that. Brandon, do you want a card? I'm still shuffling. So while I still got the cards in the hand, I will still read. Grateful, thankful for the messages for everyone out there. Maybe Brandon would like a card reading. I don't know. Possibly yes. I won't pull a card until you say yes. All right, peace. I don't know whether that means a yes or a no, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it here on that vibe of peace. Hi, whoever you are, Nadomna. I don't know, did I say it right? All right, grateful, thankful for each and every one of you. All right, until the next time, I will be back. Yeah, I appreciate you too, Judy. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do, you know. And I just want you to know, like, when I was in my, I did ceremony this last weekend, you know, and there's a part in the ceremony I'm always known for doing this, but, I went up to the fire and I said prayers and I asked him to bless all my subscribers, take care of all those people that tune in to me and help me give good advice back to you all, And I just feel like the way was made clear for that to happen. So really appreciate you all. All right, let's see. Anybody else out there? Okay. All right, so listen, you guys, I will see you all at the next reading. Until then, be happy, be healthy, be kind. All right, and I'll see you all later. Until then, God bless you all, and I will see you at the next reading. Bye now. Oh, look, it won't turn off. See, they don't want me to go. I can't go away. Bye, guys.